What up, guys, and welcome back to the Overkill Underground. Here we are. This is it, the finale of the season 32, episode 14, Survivor Series. Great. This was actually a great. It was a great finish. It was a great finish. It really was. The whole thing, episode, it just came together real well.
Might have been the best last episode I've ever seen. May have been. They
definitely changed it up from last year, where they let the jury kind of get in a little more, and they let the final three kind of speak their minds a little more, which was real nice.
I'll be honest with you, Chaz. I thought at the beginning
it was a great episode.
I thought when I saw it was going to be 3 hours long, I thought, what the heck is going to happen in 3 hours?
Yeah, right.
Boy, 3 hours was plenty. It was perfect. What an awesome 2 hour finale.
It came together great.
Fantastic. That was one of the greatest episodes, greatest seasons, and that final episode really.
And it was a surprise.
All three finalists.
It came together as a surprise ending.
All three finalists, great.
I really was surprised by the ending. So we start off.
Everybody, very shocking
thing,
ending.
The whole thing starts out, and I don't know if there's much significance to it, but we start out, and I think by the end of the game here, there is a significant point to the whole Brain, Beauty, Brawn whole ordeal, because
absolutely,
even Michelle kind of explains at the end of this, I came on this thing of Beauty,
right?
And you don't even at the beginning of the season, I even felt personally myself, there's no way a Beauty's going to win this. There's no way. I did. I thought
really,
that. I really came together.
Ty was a beauty,
I'm not kidding.
And I thought Ty was going to win.
But you know what? Even Ty
was doing well.
Ty, I thought, was going to be out at the early beginning.
I did too. At the very beginning.
But you know what? Things transpired where his attitude
him with
was
Caleb,
just so, and everybody found out why he was beautiful.
Well, you're right. But first of all, remember, they were on the Beauty tribe. They had Caleb, and Caleb was carrying that tribe. They never went to tribal.
True.
All six of them would have made it all the way to whatever type of.
That was a big key for him.
Right, and then they lost him. And again, with this season, we lost 3 people due to emergency evacuation or injury. It
was a rough season.
Very rough.
It was a rough season.
Brutal.
We had the fact that it was just hot. And it seemed to be more towards, and obviously the seasons are changing over there just as well as they are over here. So at the beginning of this season, it really seemed like...
Last episode was a monsoon season.
It was hot.
This one was just a dry, hot one. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So they went through the dehydration, in that challenge where we did lose Caleb. Sydney went down. Debbie went down.
Right.
And they were lucky enough to come back up out of it.
Right.
So that worked out for them. And then
worked out. One made the jury, and one made the final 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I'm sorry, both made the jury.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
So this episode here, we start out.
Joe's gone.
Well, Joe's gone, and then we start out with Ty. He's being very self-conscious, I think, at the fact that he's treading lightly.
Yeah.
So Mark wakes everybody up.
First time he doesn't have his idol, correct, Rob?
So right, yeah, he's being cautious.
Ty played a terrible game. Terrible. He should have been the winner.
You know what?
He should have been the winner.
Well, I predicted him halfway.
As much as he did good with the idols and everything else, he negated all that by just making bad decisions all the way through. Letting people know he had an idol.
You ain't kidding.
He did.
He should have won hands down.
He
should have, but he didn't.
He played his idol. He didn't have a chance to play his idol. And secondly,
he really did have the opportunity. Right,
his extra vote was
he gave up
terrible.
Some major opportunities.
Yeah,
major opportunities.
But nonetheless, that idol was a security blanket that kept him around the game a long time, and he did align with the right people and got away from those alliances at the right time.
True,
because no matter where he was at the bottom of every alliance. In the Beauty, he was at the bottom. Thank God him and.
If he didn't,
If they had to go to tribal, he would have been the one going home.
Yeah,
he was at the bottom of every alliance
at the very beginning.
But they never went home.
Right.
And then he joins in with Scott when they merged.
So he had to tread very cautiously, I think, throughout a lot of the game.
He did.
Right from the beginning.
He sure did.
And from the beginning, he had this onset of be cautious.
Right.
This is a game, but at the same time he's battling with himself.
Right.
But he did persevere. He made it to the end. He was one of the final three. Very impressive game by Ty. He did neglect some of the fact that he did have the idol. He had the the extra vote. So
Used them both.
There was a lot
couldn't
of
use
things
one
that,
and
that he
use
really
the other
did.
poorly. Right.
He really he could have done more in that sense.
And as we go, I mean.
Right. So basically, we come into the first thing is the reward challenge.
Immediately.
We snap right into that.
It was.
Yeah.
And so the reward is the food. Food's good to have for sure. I mean, and it looked like they had quite a bit to devour. I mean,
Sure.
they had steak and vegetables, and looked like there was fruit and dessert, and of course,
a good meal before your final
you
challenge.
could really stuff yourself up, right?
Yeah.
And of course, Aubrey, she votes up. She's obviously the winner. She runs through. It was like some kind of, you had to balance the tiles, go through and shoot the tiles to the shuffleboard. Sydney tore that up.
Right. Ones you didn't get through or didn't make it, you had to take back and try them again. But
right.
But I believe the first one to get all her tiles there, going through the little obstacle course, was in fact Aubrey. Aubrey got through very quickly.
She's right.
She was the
burned
first
it up.
one there.
She burned up the course.
Unfortunately, she couldn't throw him down that shuffleboard table very fast.
But Sydney tore it up. She was
But
just boom, 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 gone.
She got there.
Had those things.
Aubrey
in
got
there
first,
for sure.
and she made the puzzle first. And the puzzle, you had to match up pairs, and there were three left that weren't pairs, and those three were
the
your
winning numbers.
your combination.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah.
In whatever order it was, I'm not sure.
And she had one pair messed up.
She had one
and
pair.
She didn't notice it for a long time.
She didn't.
And then she finally looked at it and saw what her
right.
Her
she
mistake
got it together.
was.
Well, she flipped the three bottom ones over, and she goes, these two here are a pair. So she took those out.
Yeah.
Brought those two in.
Yeah.
There it was.
Yep.
She was the first, but she made it a lot more exciting than it really needed to be, I think, because she did get there a lot sooner. And
right,
I mean,
right.
You're only playing a matching game. It's 2 lines this way, 1 line this way,
Yeah.
3 lines this way, 2 lines that way.
And she just overlooked it. Just kind of.
And she kept trying. She tried 3 or 4 different combinations.
Right. She seemed like she was just worried about. Numbers. She was worried about the numbers more than she was worried about the actual puzzle.
Maybe,
at hand.
Maybe I didn't get it right.
So right. So she goes through and she ends up being the winner.
But it gave everybody else a chance.
But it did give
everybody
else
had a chance to pull.
They did.
Everybody, all 3 of them.
That in itself, like you said, it gave everybody a chance. That was exciting to see because it's like you want to see that everybody challenge it out.
At least a couple people give it a pull.
And so even when Aubrey did win, and I knew we all know what the deal is with Survivor. It's the reward for food. And you're bringing somebody,
right?
Period. So obviously Aubrey goes through. She picks Sydney, and so
because
it's a good
pick Sydney.
It's a great pick. You have to, right,
to get the vote, her vote against Michelle.
Yeah, absolutely. So
and Ty understood that because Ty and Aubrey, that was really his only final ally. He wasn't close with Sydney. He was kind of close with Michelle, but not as close. He already made the alliance.
He made his bond within the last few minutes of the game with Michelle.
Yeah, I mean when he gave her the massage last week,
right?
He kind of bonded a little bit, but not. All it took was Aubrey to apologize to him, and he took her right back last week. Remember last week?
You know what? With Ty and Aubrey, those two were a lot alike.
Aubrey had
in
Ty,
a lot of ways.
Aubrey had Ty in her back pocket, and she kind of knew that. She had a few people in her back pocket.
She did. And Aubrey was a fantastic player,
right,
throughout the entire season. She came out and she showed her weaknesses.
It was a smart move. She had to take Sydney with her to
without a doubt, yeah,
to get food,
yeah,
and
to get close to her.
get close to her and say,
told her to get close to Sydney.
Right.
And she did.
And she did. And they came back.
But their strategy got blown up when Michelle did what she did.
You ain't kidding.
Yeah, right.
And that's what we get to next.
That was the biggest move of the whole season when
she won that immunity. She won that immunity.
So we break it.
She's going to final
right.
3.
So we find out too. Right.
Oh.
We get into this and we're in the final 3 already. At this point,
well, no, we go to jury when Michelle wins.
Well, true. Right.
We don't know. I mean, they're sitting there. Aubrey walked away from camp the one time, and who's Michelle going to take with her to the final 3? Because she ain't going nowhere, and she doesn't want Sydney to go anywhere. So they're like, who are we going to take? Well, Aubrey's already got a couple votes over there. Why don't we take Ty? First of all, you start talking to him. He clams up. He doesn't know it's a second language. Michelle called that out right away.
She did.
And they were going to take Ty. And what happens? They approach him. We're going to take you, Ty. And he says, great, sounds great. But you know what? You gotta love the kid's loyalty towards Aubrey. And he he does the numbers in his head. Those 2 go vote for her. Us 2 vote for her. We go to fire. And then he tells her, "Do you know how to make fire?"
Let's do the fire.
Tells Aubrey, "Do you know how to make fire?" And she's like, "Yeah, I can do it." Maybe they didn't show us, but maybe she did practice a little bit.
Yeah, right. And the funny part was, for me, I'm thinking
Ty was safe.
That's a good idea. Think about the fire. Think about the challenge. What are you going to do?
Right.
Figure it out. Think it through in your head mentally. And then Sydney.
That was great that Ty gave her a fighting chance.
Sydney's sitting there. She's worried about it. Michelle says, you have nothing to worry about. You don't need to worry about the fire challenge. I'm like, damn. Like, I'd be practicing fire right when she said that. I almost feel, and Michelle wasn't throwing anybody under the bus, but it was like those, Michelle kind of telling Sydney that you don't need to worry about it was not a smart move. It definitely came down to exactly what could have come down, and and everybody knew it. It wasn't a surprise to anybody.
That was great that Ty gave Aubrey a fighting chance because Ty could have took the easy vote. But
we do need to back it up 1 second though, because we do need to go over the fact that there was an immunity challenge. It followed right up to the reward challenge. We saw that there was the reward challenge. We're in the final 3, and then there's another challenge. That was a surprise. That was the surprise that kind of everybody's what? There's a challenge.
No, that was after. That was after they voted after Sydney lost.
Well, we come into day 37. We got the immunity challenge.
The first immunity challenge.
Yeah. And the one that Michelle actually ends up going through, and she wins that with the
building of the
stack,
3 towers
with the 3-tier stack, right? So
you're getting ahead of yourself. Or you're falling behind.
No.
One or the other.
We're following along, right? After the reward challenge, we had the immunity challenge,
right?
And right after the immunity challenge, we came in, and it was where you're, and this was like the immunity challenge, which you're correct, right? Yeah,
right.
This was the immunity challenge where it took a lot of endurance to make it through this challenge. Oh, without a doubt. By the time that everybody was going through and actually trying to solve that 3-tier building of a stack with rings, puzzle deal.
Rings and little circular blocks. Now, those circular blocks, you do the math. You had 4 pillars, 3 tiers, 2 blocks per pair. You have 36.
6 pillars. 6 pillars.
I think there were 4.
Wasn't it 6?
4.
It was 6.
I think it was 4. Was it 6?
6 in each, 6 columns. Yeah, you had the 2 columns. You basically were making a hexagon, and then you stacked a ring on top of it. So you had 6 columns. You stacked a ring on top of those 6 columns, but they were all different sizes, and you really didn't know which sizes needed to go and be paired with each one, and you stacked and stacked until each of, and I don't know how many pillars you had to actually combine. Probably 12 to 15 little pillars, little cylinders. You had to stack
there
on
had
top
to be at least
other.
36 little pieces.
Yeah,
at least 36.
So I would say
2,
right. I'd say you had to stack about
2,
12.
4, 6, 8.
Yeah,
8.
so you had to stack about 2 or maybe even 3 in some of these
aside.
to stack up a column. But even the challenge started out ridiculous, where they had to, and they didn't have to swim, but they had to run through the water, climb up the ladder, get a key. The first thing they got to do is come back, unlock the stairs. Right. They're coming back. They unlock the stairs. They run all the way back out to the ladder in the water, and then they come back up in, and then they have to get they get the rope for the key, and then they back out to the
and then
so
you
they're
have
back
to take
out
the
to the water.
Ball to throw that.
And so you're making like 100-yard sprints back and forth and back and forth. You do this 4 times, and then you come back and you go and you get the pole and you knock out the other, and you get all your puzzle pieces. So you get your 3-tier puzzle that you're doing. By the time you're at this 3-tier puzzle, you're dying.
Exhausted.
You're dying.
You're completely exhausted.
I mean, right. So, and then watching all of them put it together, Sydney, she had
the 2 people that got there
time.
first, Sydney and Aubrey.
Sydney was tearing it up. She tore the course up.
Yeah, they got the meal, and you expected them to do that well.
Without a doubt.
But they get to that puzzle, and both of them seemed miffed.
Yeah, they were.
I know.
They were completely miffed. And Ty gets there, and Ty he's rocking it out. Boom, first tier.
He's getting things together.
Working on the second tier. Michelle gets there. Finally, third. Michelle finally gets there. And you heard Jeff even say, Michelle, you got to move. You got to push it. And she picks it up, and she finally gets there. And she gets to the puzzle. Yeah. Boom, she gets the first tier. Then Ty gets the second tier.
Yeah.
Ty's working on his third tier. And Jeff even says, Michelle
burning it up.
She's picking up on something, and boom, she's just like grabbing pieces.
Yeah, he's mentioned
1, 2.
She's seeing it.
Yeah,
she sees it.
She sees how easy it is, and she's got it, and she did. And boom, 1, 2, 3. She puts that puzzle up, and he goes, Michelle wins immunity. Not a second later, she kicked that son of a bitch down. She did. That was great. Wasn't it, Rob?
Hell
she
yeah,
knew that was big. That was her ticket.
That was her ticket.
The final
she knew
3.
She was going to be voted out, I think, if she didn't win immunity there. So
probably, yeah.
That was very big. That was huge for her.
Absolutely.
Well, it was $1 million win.
It wasn't.
It wasn't $1 million win quite yet.
Not quite, because so we come in. We followed right in. Yeah, we followed right in.
That's when they're talking to Ty.
That's
and
when
saying,
everything.
Ty, you're going to the final 3 with us, and Ty's going, oh, great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And that's when they get.
That's when everything
Ty
comes
gives
in.
Aubrey the chance to stick around.
And right, so they Michelle's talking about the fact that Ty's not going to be able to speak his way, through this thing. We're taking Ty. Like, that's all there is to it. Michelle's on the fact that she doesn't think Ty is going to be able to convince anybody of anything.
Right.
And, of course, she's worried about Aubrey. They want to get Sydney out, but at the same time, it seems like, and we see this go through as we enter into the when we enter in the tribal, that it ended up being that they wanted to play a real fair game.
They did. Ty, it was all in Ty's hands. Ty could have easily voted Aubrey out, and again, that would have been the smart move. No,
for everybody.
For absolutely
everybody.
Aubrey's got at least 2 votes over there with Joe and Neil, right?
Without a doubt.
Aubrey's
got votes.
the one you vote.
She's
the one you vote
stacked.
out.
Right.
If you're and that's what Michelle said. Aubrey's the one that's got to go. Ty
and
can't talk. We got to take him.
At this time, we got Scott and Jason. Those guys,
up in the air.
They are. I mean, those guys. They're
what a brilliant move by Ty.
They're free spirited about who you believe they're going to vote for.
But what a brilliant
toss-up.
What a brilliant move by Ty to say, no, I'm going to foil your plans. No, I'm going to go to the final 3 either way.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Aubrey a fighting chance.
Yeah.
And they get to the fire. Now, first of all, and we've already discussed how the fire building, but Aubrey gets that fire going. And that fire's
flaming.
It's flaming sideways.
It was almost not fair.
But it was flaming sideways. It looked like it might have caught the edge of the rope.
If it was me, I would have just pulled that flame over to the side.
That's what I thought she was going to do.
I would have just pulled that flame right over. You could easily pulled everything over.
You're right.
And it would have been hitting the rope.
Center of the rope.
It wouldn't have been a problem.
No, but that doesn't. Hey,
right.
Drama that we had.
Drama was
But you still got Sydney over there. Boom.
Just boom.
She couldn't get shit going.
She just could not. And you know what the thing is too? Aubrey paid attention. I think going over it with Ty helped her out quite a bit, because also they talk through the fact that, you know what, you need to get a lot of magnesium all up on there.
Well, you got to get that stuff. I think Sydney still looked too twined up a little bit. I think you got to make it more
I don't want to come off as a professional fire starter here, but I am. So what I'm going to say is, if you have the magnesium, pour it on.
Yeah,
pour it on. You want that thing, and when magnesium burns, don't quote me on this, but it's up there, 1,500 degrees Fahrenheit. It's burning.
Right.
It'll catch anything on fire, if it's a big enough pile.
Right.
And so, you know,
Sydney
talked that through, and
Sydney's
Aubrey
going
did.
one stroke. You stroke that thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Stroke it. You got to stroke that, Sydney.
What were you thinking?
Nonetheless.
Hashtag.
Nonetheless, Aubrey's sideway flame that she didn't move over collapses, completely goes out.
Gone.
And
Coals.
Aubrey and Sydney had a chance. That gave her a
gave her the
opening.
Chance. She had it.
She had
the chance. It was there.
I mean, Aubrey still had all them hot burning coals, and that's what, you know,
Right,
Doug and I are sitting there, and Doug says, I mean,
right.
if she's smart, you got the coals. You already got the base.
Right. You can be roasting marshmallows on that thing. You better be able to stick some
sticks
obviously
and put a fire.
Very dry sticks. I mean,
right.
If they're that dry to turn into charcoals after however 4 or 5 minutes, you know that's some dry kindling right there.
Yeah, you could build fire quickly.
So, but
she builds
right, they
fire
go
comes up, burns the rope, the flag goes up, Sydney goes home.
Boom!
That was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was pretty
at that
awesome.
point.
Yeah.
Personally, I thought Aubrey wins the game. The girl, she just won herself. She built fire, for God's sake, to get to the final 3. She's got 2 votes over there already. You know the girl knows how to talk. She's gonna win the game.
You know, we had money on this game.
We did.
We had money on this game. So the whole time, you know, I felt like
I
felt yeah.
This is at the beginning. At the beginning, I had Ty and
right.
I can't remember.
Who cares?
Bob had Nick.
Who cares about that person?
Yeah.
You were worried about the last person.
Yeah. I had Ty and one.
I had Michelle.
I had the other girl on the beauty tribe.
So I had Michelle, and you know, I felt like, Aubrey definitely has a guaranteed go at this.
Right.
You know, I mean, she has a real great chance. You know, I was rooting for Michelle, obviously.
Of course you were.
And watching her go through the game into the end, it was exciting to watch. You know, they make it through this, and
there's the final 3.
She's safe automatically. So in that entirety itself, just having her being safe, just automatically getting the immunity, I'm like, dang.
I'm feeling the same way.
My girl's getting to the end. My girl is getting to the end.
Yeah. And when they talk to Ty, I'm thinking my boy's going to the end.
Yeah,
right?
he's there. He's there. Right.
And we're thinking Kristen's.
Yeah.
Aubrey.
So Kristen and right. So
Kristen's the girl we work with. She's got
and we're the
Aubrey.
3. Yeah, we're the 3 Survivor fans at the shop. So it's funny how we ended up with the people that ended up getting it.
It was pretty awesome.
So when Aubrey does, she gets through. She wins this thing, right? And right after she wins, you know.
Well, they go back.
Sydney breaks down.
Oh yeah.
She's very upset. She realizes this, and she clears up a little bit towards the end. But you know, these are real people playing a real game that have real struggles. You know, everybody has real struggles, and you know what, money, it may not buy happiness, but boy, it sure makes everything easier.
Well,
you know?
Oh man.
So
give me someone, I'll let you know.
Yeah, right. We'll figure it out one day.
Yeah,
but you know. She does. She breaks down, and,
so how about
Aubrey's kind of, you know, she's kind of hurting inside a little bit about it, but it is a game,
right,
and they're all getting paid, but you know,
well, that was day 37. We go to day 38, right?
Not $1 million,
right.
No,
yeah, so
that was $1 million fire. She potentially could not make.
Hell yes, absolutely.
and she knew she had other opportunities because Aubrey's fire wasn't flying straight.
Yeah. So, you're right. We enter, and this is what we were talking about earlier.
We go to 38.
We go to day 38, and then they're talking about this other challenge.
Well, hold on. Before we get there,
okay.
I'm watching it.
Yeah.
And I've watched Survivor for 150 years. I'm sorry, that's how old I am. But I've been watching Survivor for a long time, and us old classic enthusiasts were thinking, "Holy shit! it's not going to be final 3. It's going to be final 2. Doug and I are thinking they're going to do final
No
2.
kidding.
We're going to have another. We're going to have another. We're going to have
I know.
another immunity challenge.
Yeah.
And
This is going to get crazy.
And everybody's thinking. Even Ty's going, well, they haven't said we're final 3. He didn't say anything like final 3. You're going to.
And
he just said.
And the other two were convinced. There's no challenge. We're good to go. This is everything's
so
fine.
They do get a challenge,
which they were. They were fine. All 3 of them were fine, but they did. They got the challenge.
And I'm thinking one more person's going home.
Right.
Sweet. Aubrey needs to go, and maybe my boy Ty can win. I'm thinking
no
at
kidding.
This point, right?
No kidding, right?
So we go to that, and
we got the ball stack challenge.
The ball stack challenge.
So we're stacking
6 balls.
So we're stacking it was like a little stack that had a place for a ball, and you stack the ball inside this little stack, and you had to get right, and all you're able to do is stack this thing with like a marshmallow roaster,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're stacking the ball on each stack on with this marshmallow roaster,
and then a little flat.
And
with a hole in it,
and you could see the whole thing to the challenge was, and just like Jeff said, and he straight up said, like, everybody's gonna drop it, like everybody's dropping this. Trust me, it's gonna happen. This is a learning curve game here. You got to this is where you got to put it together. And the whole idea was, the
flats.
Each stack has got to be perfectly level.
Yeah,
if you have if your stack is level, like you can stack those things as fast as you want to. They're not gonna fall.
Right.
They just got to be flat.
But Ty, every time, and Ty was pretty proficient at moving that.
He was.
Unfortunately, by the third one, it was a little cockeyed, and you knew he wasn't going to get further than 4 or 5. By the time he was putting the 5th ball on, things were
not bad, not much.
Right.
Just enough. Each one had
Aubrey
to be
had
perfectly.
A couple chances. Aubrey had a couple chances.
Yeah.
Aubrey had a chance, and she lost it on the last ball.
She sure did. Yeah.
Right. I mean, everybody had, but I'll tell you what. If Sydney was there on that one, Sydney does well.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Anyway, Sydney does well.
She
wasn't there.
She did pretty good. I mean, really, but basically what
Michelle had enough. I don't know. Kind of like a golfer, what I was saying earlier. Enough focus and being relaxed just enough. Because you can't be too tense on that. You have to be a little relaxed, and you have to definitely be completely focused.
Yeah.
Stay calm, and I think she just had the correct balance to do it. And she put 6 balls up for 3 seconds. The total is, and she
whatever it was, right? So,
and she wins the reward, and the reward is something we've never seen before.
The reward is ridiculous. Where Michelle gets through, she gets to vote out a jury member.
A jury member opposed to one of the 3, or winning immunity.
That was the $1 million challenge.
That was
there.
That's
and she voted out that $1 million threat. That was a $1 million threat. And she voted
before we get there.
Well, we can keep going down any road you want on that, but I can guarantee you the fact that she got that challenge that helped out. I mean that was the toss.
That would have been a 4-4 vote if she wasn't allowed to get rid of a jury member. But the previous challenge to keep her to get immunity so she wasn't voted out. She was going to be voted out if she doesn't win that immunity challenge.
Absolutely.
So that was when she got to the final 3, and then
winning that extra vote, I didn't think, or winning the reward to vote a jury member off. I didn't think at that point was going to really matter. I mean,
it did matter.
It did.
Hold on, you got Ty, pitching who he thinks she should.
I know, and I was thinking
and you
the
got
same
Aubrey
thing too.
doing the same thing.
I was thinking that too.
And obviously, Michelle was a smart girl. She knew she wanted to take Ty to the final 3, opposed to Aubrey. So who the hell she's going to vote out? Somebody that Aubrey is going to get a guaranteed vote from.
Oh, yeah.
And she's going, well, I might be able to win Joe over, but I might not. But that Neil was a real prick to me.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
That's who she chose to get rid of. What I didn't like was the fact that Neil could walk up and say some snide remark to her. I guess I didn't mind that, but I wish she could have done something, and I wish she would have done something like, get out of here. I voted you out. I don't need to hear your bullshit.
right,
Get out.
right.
Bye.
Yeah.
That would have been fucking cool.
But no, you know what though? No, she was smart about it. You can't be like that.
Yeah.
Everybody's still looking at you. You're in front of, everybody
She's
sees
smiling,
what's going
right.
on. Right.
She voted the right person out.
She voted the right person out, and it was obvious from Neil's remarks. He walks by and he says something about it, whatever, crybaby or something bullshit, whatever he said. The fact of the matter is, she straight up said, well, I voted the right person out.
I think I voted the right person out.
I got the right person out, and she was right about that.
Now, time out.
That was an Aubrey vote.
Now, time out. At this point, Rob and I are watching it, and I look at Rob and say, who's going to win? Rob says, he likes Ty. He likes Ty's chances. And I say,
I like Ty.
I'm telling you
but
what.
I knew he didn't have the
I'm
talk.
telling you what, even at this point, I said, I think this idea of survivors voting out a jury member is going to backfire in their face because it's not going to work. Aubrey still played a fantastic game, a superior game. I thought Aubrey, she still has Joe over there. She's got some votes over there, and I really think she's got a pretty sharp, slick tongue. She's going to be able to sell herself. Anyway.
She talked it up good. She really did.
They finally...
They come up into tribal.
Right.
And damn Mark is there.
Right.
Damn Mark
we
is
got
up
a special
in tribal.
Guest.
So that was,
I was hoping Mark...
I don't know if Ty was kind of trying to bring that,
Absolutely, he was.
with the feeling of. I mean, obviously
he was absolutely.
I think,
I'm bringing this chicken to tribal.
I think he cared enough about the chicken not to just show him off at tribal, but genuinely, he took care of that chicken. That thing was that was his.
It
buddy.
was like that really
was his
the
friend.
Survivor
It's kind of
the
chicken would have gotten eaten.
Yeah, that was. I think that, and it is amazing just that very fact.
But
it's the only chicken you'll probably ever see make it all the way to tribal.
Mark
the very
chicken.
last, Mark the chicken.
They ate Jeff the chicken.
Oh yeah,
they
sure.
ate Jeff the chicken.
There won't be another chicken to ever survive on Survivor
Absolutely
ever
not.
again.
I'll tell you what, if Caleb was still there, that chicken would have been eaten.
Oh,
because that's why they ate the first one, because Caleb
was down with it. Oh yeah, let's
Caleb
do
said,
this,
hey,
Ty.
Ty, we're doing it. You're going to be okay.
Yeah, everything's gonna be fine. Yeah,
they would have ate Mark if Caleb was there, because he loved Caleb.
But
anyway,
we basically this is the end. This is it. Here we are. And
so we get to the final. All the jury members get to say something except Neil.
We're basically right. Cool. There was good exchanges. It was fun to watch this time versus last season where we didn't, and everybody kind of it was fun to watch.
What do you think?
I think.
Rob.
I think at the end, what I would have said to the jury, and I said, I'm still standing here. I did what I had to do to make it to the final three. And I would have just sang my own virtues to where,
I think
it's
everybody
all about
did.
survival.
I think everybody did.
It doesn't matter how good of a game you play the whole way through. If you make it to the end, look at Michelle. She didn't play a great game until the end.
Even Scott made some good.
Hold
points
on,
about
she
that.
made a great. She did play a great game when she had the opportunities to to play a great game. And
from the very beginning of the game, this is one thing that Michelle had going for her. She was a very, very social player.
Yeah,
she
had no, and she's a bartender from New Jersey.
Right.
She has a real easy time going up and talking to people and just small chatting it up.
Right.
It wasn't the fact that, she had to carry on each one of these relationships. It's the fact that she had bonded enough with each person to kind of let everybody know who she was.
Right.
Just enough,
right.
From the very beginning.
Right.
And she couldn't she built on that.
She wasn't a threat, but
she wasn't a threat to anybody. Nobody thought she would win. So,
not at the beginning.
So if you
or
you're
towards
not a
the
threat,
end, she wasn't much of a
threat. If
threat.
you're not a threat, the rest of the players aren't going to vote you out because they don't think you're a threat.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? She got to a point where she knew, wait a second, it's either going to be me or my girl Julia, and she had to make. She's the one to.
She made the right.
Julia was kind of with Jason.
She made game decisions.
Julia was with Jason,
oh, yeah.
and she's like, I'm going to gravitate this other way, but you're still my girl. She made a difficult decision to get rid of Julia. And Julia even made comment of that when she said, that was a great move of yours. You did have to jump ship with me, and though we were our closest allies.
Absolutely, yeah, they were a real pair.
And she lost Nick. Nick was another ally of hers.
That was one of her other number ones. Yeah.
And well, so Nick goes up to the jury, or Nick from the jury goes up and says to him, and I personally thought it sounded a little staged. I mean, he just he didn't ask a question. He just made a comment, and he said, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, and this is what you need to do. And you know what? They all delivered. Maybe it wasn't scripted, but whatever it was, they all came through with, I mean, even Ty's feng shui, his way of, we're all
wide
here.
Open spaces.
Yeah, we're all here. We're just leaves floating down a pond, and we break apart. And
somebody wrote that.
Unbelievable. He just
pulling some heartstrings.
He was pulling heartstrings.
It was beautiful.
He was.
It was beautiful with the bamboo and the rivers and the streams.
Yeah, right.
It was great. I thought that was, it was touching.
Aubrey's speech.
It was touching.
Aubrey's speech to Scott when Scott asked her, do you deserve to win? And she's like, hey. Or what does it take to be a winner? And she's like, you being an NBA player. I mean, she sold it to him.
They all had the answers.
I looked at Rob and I said, that in Scott Pollard's vocabulary, that's called a slam dunk. I'm thinking Aubrey's winning this game.
I know.
We get to, and they didn't show this last season, but at the end, after all the jury members make their comments, the final three contestants get to sell themselves one last time to the jury. They didn't show it last season, but they showed it this season, and it was great.
It was great.
And all three of them sold themselves. Go ahead, Rob.
The reason why Michelle won, there's a lot of things you can take from this. In competition, it's often not what you do, but it's what the other players don't do. Ty should have won. He had very opportunities. And it's never over until it's over. Michelle came through at the end in the last two challenges. And
she really did, yeah.
Aubrey
that was huge. It was huge for Michelle to get those
Aubrey and Ty were trending down where Michelle was trending up.
Right. And
I think Scott
made
that
had momentum.
Comment. Yeah.
She really did. Michelle had momentum at the end of the game.
And Ty made such a mess out of his game
that
he didn't get a vote in the finals.
Not one.
I mean, you've got to get to the finals, and you should at least get one vote.
Yeah.
I mean, there should be at least one person that's there.
Well, sometimes you screw yourself.
Yeah,
and he did.
And
he screwed himself, but
he did.
He did, and throughout the. I mean, the fact of the matter is, this season wrapped it up as Survivor should.
I agree.
Season 32 came together at the end, magnificent with. The fact that you see people, every person that voted out this time, it was a blindside after blindside after blindside. It came together beautifully. We did not see any voting blocks come through in this like we did in season 31. And by the end of this, it's a surprise where, everybody's sitting around. We're in the live studio and we're watching on this.
I'll tell you why I think Michelle won. My personal opinion.
And Michelle ends up being the winner.
Though you're right, she was trending up. The others were kind of trending down. But
got to follow the trend.
All three of them were speaking very well in Tribal.
Yeah.
But it's always what you remember last. I mean, Aubrey I'll tell you what. If Michelle spoke first, Ty spoke second, and Aubrey spoke last.
And we were talking about
I think Aubrey might have won because Aubrey's speech was a hell of a speech. She sold a winning speech. I thought she won. I'm like,
but maybe it's something where at the end, that's what stuck with the jurors.
It was.
It could be.
Michelle sold herself.
That and the fact that Michelle came through in the last two challenges.
You're right. Absolutely. I mean, she did.
It had a lot to do with it.
She was trending up. She was playing.
You score in the last 2 minutes, you're going to win the game.
When there were 6 people, she was the one that survived.
Oh, yeah.
She was the one that made the best moves. There were 6 people. She made the best moves to get to the final 3, and she won the game. She's the winner. What can I say, Chaz?
So, Michelle came out. She's the $1 million winner. We'll have to look her up and see where she's at now. It's been 6 months since she was on the game or whatever, probably.
Yeah, but we just saw her last night live. We saw her last night live. She looks fantastic. They all look fantastic.
The girls look great. They all do. Yeah, absolutely. But
how about Ty?
We'll follow along with all their stories really, and I'd like to I'd like to see where all these kind of people end up in a month or two.
Yeah.
And we're going to be entering in. This will be season 33, which is ridiculous. Not many.
Millennia versus Gen X.
That's going to be. Oh, it's going to be. It's going to be
young free spirits versus us old bastards who just work hard with our hands on the
We didn't talk.
I really can't wait to see it.
We didn't talk about any of the. There was other important things going on. Like 3 people went home. If Joe doesn't go home early, he might have been the winner.
That's you know what.
Because
Bob does. He mentioned that last night.
A 71-year-old man
that makes it to the final 3.
All that, making it to the end like that, the jury's would have looked at him and said, "You know what? You did what you had to do. 71 years old.
Right.
You were able to survive that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If he doesn't get the sickness that he has, I think he'd have probably been the winner.
Yeah, that dude just ate.
He would have had a chance. He would have had a chance, but
he would have had a chance. But you know what?
The 71-year-old had a vacation and lost 4 years of his life.
It didn't. Yeah, right. And it didn't matter. By the end, like I said, Michelle.
He's lucky he had a
Michelle
jury
pulled
vote.
this thing through.
Yeah, she did.
It was a beautiful win. A beautiful win for me. A beautiful win for her.
Yeah.
And then like I said, we're entering into season 33. The millennials versus Gen X. This is going to be exciting. This is going to be this is where the clash of real emotions are going to be pulled out. These are very different. These are people with purpose. They have real purpose to their beliefs. And this is going to be a belief system a battle between these. And we'll see who comes together. This is going to be an exciting season. It really will be.
It will be an exciting season.
And it'll be fun to watch. Best believe everybody's going to be able to join us here again for season
next
33.
Season. The best part of the whole deal is the bond that all those people make with each other, especially the ones that make it to the end.
Sure.
They've gone through that month and a week, and they have that forever bond now.
Oh, they'll have it
without a doubt. Yeah, and that's fun to watch too. You
kind of like our forever bond.
When you get to see repeat players on even later episodes, eventually we'll get to see that. I'm sure very soon, maybe even into season 34. I don't see.
We got to wrap this up. I got to take a leak, Chaz. Something serious.
We're on it. We're on it. So. We're going to be in the
season.
We'll
see you next season, people.
We're going to see you.
You bet ya.
So, as always.
Well, we got some other shit coming up, too.
We got tons of stuff coming up. It's going to be.
Just keep an eye out for the.
We're here. It's the Overkill Underground.
You got it.
Comment, like, subscribe. We'll be here. We're going to be talking all kinds of stuff. So, in between Survivor, we'll be here.
It's going to be a wild summer in America.
You best believe.
Yeah.
You best believe.
A wild summer.
So I'm
gonna lose 5 strokes off my golf game.
And we'll be getting into all that. So join us. We'll be here sometime next week, and we will see you guys later.
Peace.